All right, so this question is about conditional probability, and I think the best way to start this is to remind you about the formula. So the probability of an event A giving B will be always equal to the probability of A and B divide always by the second one. You see it on the bottom, right? So the probability of B. So this is the basic formula for conditional probability formula. You should remember it. Now, having said that, let's go back to the problem. So the problem starts with some information. 3% of adults are diabetes. So we can start with the probability of D for diabetes. It's going to be 3%, which is 0.03. I put it in decimals. And then the second sentence is giving you 31% of adults are obese. So that's going to be probability of O for obese. All right, it's going to be equals to 0.31. And the last piece of information is 2% of adults are obese and suffers from diabetes. So this would be the probability of D and the intersection of obese is going to be equal to 0.02. And you notice here that there is a connection and, all right, that's why we use the intersection. All right, so having said that, let's go to the question. The first question is asking you find the probability of randomly chosen adult is obese. So we know he's from the group of obese people, also suffers from diabetes. So how can I make the interpretation of this? Too simply is the probability of is given is obese. So the obese is going to be on the bottom, and we are looking for what the probability of being diabetes, right? So it can be probability of D over O. And as we apply the formula, so it can be the probability of D and O divided by the probability of O over here, right? Obese, right? So this is going to be, you have all the information. So this is going to be 0.02, and the obese is going to be 0.31. And let's do it on the calculator. So we are dividing 0.02 divided by 0.31, and this should be 0.06. How many they want to nearest 100? So I think 6, 4 it should be done. So this is your answer for the first one. Moving on to the second question, we are looking for find the probability that randomly chosen adult is obese. So we know he's obese again, giving that he or she suffers from diabetes. So the sentence has changed here. So they are using the word given. All right, so they flip the question. So we are looking for what the probability of being of obesity given the fact that suffers from diabetes, right? So how can I write it mathematically? Is probability of the direct question is obese, O, giving is diabetes. All right, so this is what you're looking for, and the probability is going to be conditional probability formula is going to be O and D divided by probability of D, or O and D is the same thing as probability of D and O. So this is going to be 0.02, all right, and probability of D is going to be 0.03. So let's apply it. It can be 0.02 divided by 0.03, and this is going to give you 0.6666, and you want to round it to the 100, so this is going to be 0.67, and that's the second answer, and that's all.